even though the meme is dead, I'm still thinking of a way to associate this thing with the Illuminati. Oh, wait. What is going on, guys? NJ2005 I'm here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade G-Saviour space mode from the crappy movie G-Saviour. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are you doing? Why are you putting the effort in to make this thing look good? Why are you reviewing this outcast of a kid? I know, but I'm separating the matter of this thing being a kid and the actual movie itself because, well, the kids, I actually do appreciate it. And by putting in all of these details, like panel lining it and coloring the missing color apps, although I did mess up right here, literally, it's still pretty good. Now, I colored this thing based on the game specs, so these are supposed to be white over here. I didn't do a pretty good job, as I really have no painting skills whatsoever. But anyways, this thing does look pretty nice. The color scheme is really dull on paper, but I really have to praise that the G-Saviour has actually executed the color scheme perfectly. Now, there are some loose pieces. This is a 2000 kit, so there is bound to be some loose pieces that I have to forgive it for. For example, the shoulders over here, they can actually be turned into the origin mode over here. It's basically just sandwiched into the frame with two small tabs, so they're bound to go loose. And there's not really any more loose parts anymore, especially because the shoulders are the only problem. Like, they sometimes fall off when you try to mess around with it, and of course they do flop about. But there's this one major complaint that I try to resolve over and over again. It's the head. Now, the head, it does look good right now because I did quite an extensive modification to the head and the faceplate over here. Because as for what you see in the box right here, it looks like a generic Gundam. Now, I did shorten the V-fin a bit just because I actually did mess up when I was cutting off the child safety pack, so I had to shorten it just to make it symmetrical. But never mind the V-fin length, it does actually look like a Gundam face. Like, if this is what it looks like straight out of the box, I will actually praise this thing to be better than the old seed kits, but it is not. So I really tried to do a lot of modifications just to get it to look similar to what it looks like on the box and in the instruction manual, because that looks like a pretty standard Gundam face. It's not like the elongated or squished proportions of the old Gundam seed kits. And I think I did a pretty great job on making that modification. Now, it's not perfect, but it's alright. But that's basically all the complaints that I have. And I also did paint in the green sensor that is under the cockpit over here. So there isn't really many stickers over here, especially the fact that you only get the eyes and the copper on the vents over here. You need to paint in the sensors on the front and back of the head. You need to paint in the sensor here. There's not really many color correcting stickers on this kit, and I actually do appreciate it but there is still a lot of missing detail that you need to paint it. But then again, this is a 2000 kit, so by all means, this thing is pretty decent already. Articulation wise, there's nothing to marvel at here because it is a 2000 kit. You only get a single ball joint at the head, even though it does have a neck joint, but it is cuffed in there. But the back piece over here, either the socket or the back piece over here is limiting the articulation when looking up. So you do have to kind of do some modification to give it more articulation. It's possible then. The shoulder armor, as you can see, they can flop up and down, which does give the joint for the arm to go out. Rotation over here at the elbow, it bent at the elbow. It's slightly less than 90, nothing to marvel at. Rotation over here. The stomach and waist, the waist can only rotate, the stomach is nothing to look at. The front skirts don't quite move, side skirts can move out and rotate. The back skirts, as usual, are a brick. There's nothing special in the legs, not even at a stand adapter hole, so the legs can only go forwards, go backwards, go outwards as far as the ball joint will allow it. I can forgive them because the thighs are just a bare frame if they do not know how to mold bare frames back in the day. So of course they still use ball joints as the standard back in the day, so I cannot really blame them for that. But considering that it's a ball joint, you can still get quite a bit of outward motion with this kit. Little rotation thanks to the ball joint, a single joint at the knee. You would anticipate more, but then again, it's 2000, so you aren't really going to get much out of it. The feet can go forwards and back, side to side, rotate over here. The ankle guard can move and the toe can point down. And also, one funny thing about the arms, they can bend backwards like that. because there is really nothing to obstruct it from bending backwards, which is pretty funny. I really want a way to get rid of that, but yeah, it's alright. The articulation, it's nothing to marvel at, but it is decent when compared to some of the other kits that came out around the same era. Accessories, generic Gundam loadout. First of all, you can see the beam saber over here. It is actually a fake, just like the Extreme Gundam. Now I can forgive them for that back in the day, but I can't forgive the Extreme Gundam for having fake beam sabers. No. Then the beam saber does actually look pretty damn good. Like, decent amount of detail in there, but nothing really to write home about. But you do get a clear blue beam saber. Now I tried to color the white here, but as you know, I don't have any painting skills, so that's all I ended up with. It looks whiter on camera for some reason, but anyways, you can just slide it into the hand. Now with the paint, it actually does hold better, because without the paint, it doesn't hold at all. So you can have it hold better if you do paint the handle. So it is pretty damn good. Now you also do get a beam rifle over here, pretty standard looking. You do have 2 hexagons on the sides of the beam rifle. I don't know what those hexagons are for, but one of them is basically for plugging it into the basket. Now this is where it is superior. Strange to hear that for a G-Saviour kit. It is superior to the old seed kits. The seed kits do have the hole in the basket, but they cannot store the beam rifle in the back. This thing has a peg. It does make the rifle look a little bit worse, but it functions well. And if you move the side skirts out of the way, you can actually get it to store it. So you don't have to ziplock it if you don't want to use it. Thank God. But these pegs are I suppose they are made for the terrain mode in mind, but if you want an alternate form of storage, you can actually peg the hexagons into the beam rifle for alternative storage. I don't know if this is canon in the games or in the movie. I've never really seen them or played them, but it's pretty good that you can store it. So you do get a trigger finger hand, which is peculiar looking just on its own, but it does do the job really, really well. So what you want to do is to basically wedge the trigger finger in there and then close the hand back up. Kind of similar to how the Alex works. It also has kind of like an awkward angle, so I don't know what's that for. It's not like it's holding a shotgun or anything, but it's pretty good. Pretty standard. You do need to paint in the green scope though, which I forgot. Finally, you do get the beam shield right here. So you basically remove this tab and then bring in the beam shield. The cap is also included in the effect board, which I colored white. It looks pretty good for 2000s beam shield. So that's basically all the accessories for the G-Saviour Space Mode. Now there is something miscellaneous that is kind of included in this kit, which is the capability to transform this guy into the Origin mode. So what you want to do is to basically remove the shoulders, remove these top 2 pieces just so you can get the backpack loose, and then just remove the backpack, not like that. So basically remove the panels, and then you can remove the backpack with ease. You need to remove the side skirts right here. I think you do need to remove the back skirt, and then you need to remove the front skirts right here, and then plug this crotch piece right back on. So you do also need to remove the kneecaps, but unfortunately the knees are 2 halves, so you can't really do that. If this guy gets enough traction in the modern days and does get it revived, you can probably do that. I don't know, but yeah. So basically here we have the G-Saviour Origin mode, which is pretty decent looking, but yeah, unfortunately due to the construction it's not completely accurate. But I like that you could do this feature though. So let me revert it back to the space mode and let's do some comparisons. So first of all, a modern iteration of the modular system. Here's the Earth 3 Gundam. And what about the Granddaddy Gundam right here? As you can see, the G-Saviour is actually quite a bit taller than the Granddaddy Gundam. I think it may be the leg position, but yeah, this thing is 18.2 to 18.7 meters tall, so it should be a slight tad bit taller than the Granddaddy Gundam. So that's going to round it up for the G-Saviour review. I cannot wait to put the Jupiter Gundam beside this because they're both space mobiles to spend anyways. What do I think of this kit? Well, I could only say that this thing is pretty damn average. It's no 7, don't get me wrong, but it is what I expected. So this thing is a 6 out of 10. If you do somehow find this thing out there, you could definitely go ahead and pick this up with ease. Although you do need to make a little bit of modification just to make this thing look good. But in the end, I think it's worth it. Shame that the movie is shit, because the Bandai could have built the hell out of this thing, because this thing uses a modular system. So you could actually have the terrain mode and the terrain hover type. And of course, you can go ahead and make the G3 Savior, the G2 Savior, the I Savior illusion. They could definitely go ahead and make all of that. But it's a shame that this thing and the series and the movie is just the outcast of the Universal Century timeline. And also cast out with the Illuminati themselves. That is all I have to say for this kit. This thing is average. This thing is worth your buy, I might say, whether or not you like the movie. But yeah, it's alright. It's an alright kit, to be honest with you guys. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more gunplay reviews, gunplay news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.